what you will be doing is you will be given an equation list in some way, shape, or form. Now, and then you will be given a blank graph to graph them on, and then eventually...
Those students getting trimmed pictures for the yearbook, please report to the Commons.
And then it will look something like this. This one is very symmetric, mine is not. But you guys will be able to color this however you choose. So I do want to go through just some basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to go. All right, so we've got our x-axis and our y-axis. So we are going to pretend like we have is that going to focus? All right, does that look a little better? All right, so we have an x and a y-axis. Now you are going to be given equations. So if I just told you equation 1 was y equals 2/3 x minus 4. 2/3 x minus 4. Where do I begin that graph? We begin at -4, and then our slope tells us to go up 2 and over 3, correct? So what we would do here on number 1 is we would go to 1, 2, 3, 4 and make our dot. And then our slope says up 2 over 3. And then we would extend our line all the way across the graph. No short lines today. And I actually do not care if you put the arrows as long as you extend your line. Hello? Oh, they were supposed to go to Cassie. They're going back to Rieta. Was that, Ava brought them to you? Yeah, they go to Cassie. All right, bye. All right, so on this, we've graphed our line and we've extended. So we've completed number 1, right? You guys, so far so good? We would graph that line. Then we would move on to something like number 2. You're going to see things that look like this today. All right, can we graph something that looks like this? 4x minus 5y equals 10. Don't we have to get y by itself? All right, so if your equation is not in slope-intercept form, I do want you to change that. So how do I move a 4x to the other side? All right, so negative 5y equals, the 4 is going to come over and become a negative 4x. What kind of 10 is that? Positive 10. Now, what do I do to get y by itself now? Divide by negative 5. All the way across. So now, what happens to 2 negatives? All right, and can I reduce 4/5 at all? So that would be 4/5 x. And what's plus 10 divided by negative 5? What kind of 2? Now we have a B and an M to graph. So I do have space on your equations page for you to do this work. Then once you have it solved, we would go and graph that. So we begin at negative 2. And this time it tells me to go up 4 over 5. And I draw my line. Sometimes the lines will cross, sometimes they won't. That's okay. But this is what we have up to this point. And if you can see, I didn't use a straight edge, and look at how crooked that line is. So I have rulers. I would highly encourage you to use a ruler to draw your lines. And I would do this in pencil to start with. All right, now I have a couple other equations. It's been a while since we've done this, but do you guys remember how to graph this? If it's just y equals 3.
Yeah, no, you just start at 0 and then go 3 and over 1.
Not over 1. All right, so does this have an x?
No.
All right, so we just go to on the y-axis at 3,
Okay.
and then we
Oh, you're gonna go across.
and then we go across because it never crosses x.
Yeah.
All right, so something that is a y equals, that is a horizontal line, goes left to right.
But if it's just x equals something, you just go up and down.
Right, so that's my next example. What if I said x equals -2? Where would you go? -2, and then go up and down. And so do you see how this is starting to create a little stained glass window kind of? Now, I will tell you, you'll probably have a line that goes like this where it goes through 0. So if you, I'm just making that up. So let's just say that you have this, then once you have all of your lines done in pencil, like, I don't know if you guys can see on this example, it looks like they went over it in, let me change that to regular. The black and white doesn't show the color. So on that, it looks like once they've done it in pencil, they've went over it with a marker and then they've colored it. You can color it however you choose once you are done, but coloring is a requirement. So I do want to show you guys how these are going to be graded. So on these, there are, your project is going to have 17 lines. They're worth 2 points apiece, so that's a total of 34 points. All right, and then you are going to get, how many of the equations require you to do a little bit? Some of the equations are ready to graph, but you have 1, 2, 3,
Kenyon
4.
Wood, please report to the Commons.
You have 5 equations that you have to solve like we did on number 2. And that's going to be 2 points apiece, so then that will be 10 points. And then you get 6 points for coloring. So what's my total there? 50 points. All right, so do you guys think a 50-point assignment is going to raise your grade or drop your grade?
Razor.
If you do well, it's going to raise it. If you choose not to do this project, not going to go well. So you guys have the entire week to turn this in. However, I'm going to give you guys a little perk. All right, so it is due Friday for full credit. It is due Friday. However, if you turn this in by Thursday at 3 p.m., you're going to get 10 bonus points. So today is Tuesday. If you can complete this by Thursday at 3 o'clock, if you turn it in early, you get 10 bonus points on the project.
Has anybody complete this thing?
Huh?
Has anybody complete
You're the only class doing this project, so.
Oh.
Employee of the Day award?
Yeah.
Oh.
Employee of the
Hey,
day.
you got that?
Mm-hmm.
Who even started that?
I don't know.
Nobody.
All right, so do you guys have any questions?
Nate's colorblind.
Well, he can color it however he chooses. I'm not going to judge.
No, but he has a hard time with colors, and he has.
So I will tell you guys,
It'll be nice.
if you can see, this is what, I'm not going to really post this up because you could
Pardon this
cheat.
interruption. Carter Gillum and Gus Whitman, please report to the Commons.
But I just want you guys to see there are 17 lines on this.
Okay. That's what it's gonna look like.
That's what, I just did this yesterday and I colored with highlighters. Just to, so your final project will look like this. And I colored with highlighters just to, I like bright colors and it reminds me of like spring and summer and it made me happy. So this is what it would look like whenever you are done. And it does have 17 equations. So then On the ones that aren't solved, so like on number 2, number 5, number 12, number 10, and number 14, you do have to do some work on those. So if you guys can see, I want you to look at these directions before you get started. All right, it says graph each equation on graph paper that's provided. I have graph paper over on the counter. Extend the line across the graph and use a straight edge. So when you guys grab your project, what else should you grab? Grab a ruler. Color empty spaces when it's complete. And I would recommend going over the lines in black or something before you color. Like, I don't know, you guys can look at the projects on the wall. The ones where they outline the circles in black, I think just stand out a little better. It looks a little nicer. So you guys are free to work. You guys have all day today. You guys have all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, all day Friday. This is a week-long project, but remember, you get 10 points extra credit if you turn it in early.
Oh, you did number 7? Oh, okay. It looked like it was 16.
Yeah, it went 4, 5, 6, 8.
Oh, I forgot number 7. I guess there's only 16 lines.
Danko,
Whoops.
Please report to the Commons.
Do you think we need a ruler? Probably.
Yes, to make straight lines.
I forgot.
No.
Not a ruler. I meant a calculator.